Hurdy, what do you make of Casey and Hawks for that rough hit and Franklin?
Oh, well, I'd rather they didn't play. That's for sure. Obviously, fantastic players. I think Buddy's obviously got the ability to appeal the decision, which I imagine they do. So we're still counting on there's a chance he'll play. But it's something that we'd rather play than without those two players. But they're a very good team, top 4 team, and they've got some other options as well.
Just on the re-signings, James, I guess given most are young players, they're pretty key ones to lock away for the future.
Yeah, look, the future of our footy club is our young players, and we've sort of been talking a lot about development and improvement, and all the players that have signed are part of the future. So we're very excited to have them re-sign, and hopefully Essendon supporters will see we're going in the right direction, being able to keep the players that are important to us.
How concerned are you at the moment with the form that the team's in?
Well, we'd love to be winning. That's the definite. I mean, football's about winning and losing, and we've lost 4 in a row, so that's not pleasing. But there's certain elements on the weekend that were very good. We played some very good football for periods. We let North Melbourne kick goals and get through our defence in ways that we were disappointed with, and our shots at goal weren't great. But there's an improvement that we've seen, but the last 4 weeks hasn't resulted in a win. So it'd be nice to turn that around this week.
You're averaging pretty much 10 more inside 50s in the last 4 weeks in your opposition. Is that what's going wrong there? Is it the forward line? Is it the delivery?
Well, last week was our goal kicking. 12-18. You don't win too many games with 12-18, so we can look at that and say that's one reason. I don't think we had enough movement in our forward line probably early on. I think it's different reasons for different games because sometimes the forwards get sucked too far up, sometimes the delivery from the midfield's not right. It hasn't been one definite reason, but on the weekend it was definitely about our goal kick.
Are you resolved to push with the 3 ruck strategy, Hurdy, or are you also rethinking that now?
We haven't played 3 ruckman for now, what would it be, 4 or 5 weeks. So, but when there's opportunities, we'll play that. I think I've said it's not about 3 ruckmen. I mean, David Hill, particularly David and Paddy, aren't necessarily just ruckmen. They can be forwards or backmen. And there's no reason why all 3 of those guys can't play. But when you've got Hurley, Ryder, Pears, Belchambers, Hill, Hooker, all in your team, that's probably being a bit tall. So I see them sort of with 5 or 6 guys there rather than just three ruckmen, as you want to say.
Have you been surprised that Mark McVeigh's been singled out for a little bit of criticism in terms of his form? Where do you see him at the moment?
Oh, he's a very important part of our team. Yeah, we've given him some huge roles this year, and he's completed some of them. Some of them he's been beaten on, but he's definitely been a player that we're a very important part of our team.
In your old chair last night, Paul Roos said that he thought Paddy Ryder was lazy at times on the weekend. What do you make of those comments?
I don't think Paddy's lazy. I think that Paddy's played some good games for us as well. Paddy does need to work hard at certain times and get involved defensively a little bit more, but I definitely wouldn't call him lazy.
He's generating a lot of debate this year about his form and his work ethic and these things. Has it been fair? How have you seen his year today?
His year's been okay. I mean, I think the thing with Paddy is like a lot of guys with huge talent that they do show so much, and at times people expect a lot of them. And we'd love Paddy to be the best player on the ground every week, because when he is the best player and he plays tremendously well, he's unstoppable. But there's the side of his game we want him to get the ball and kick goals and win the ball, but we also want him to defend and get involved defensively, and that's the area that we're working strongest with him.
So David Hill will come back this week?
Yeah, David will come back this week. Yep.
Given the Demons and Richmond could be playing for one of your spots down the bottom of the 8, what sort of motivation are you using through this week and sort of the importance that you're placing in this game?
Yeah, we're not using any motivation about final 8 or where teams finish. To us, it's about the process within a game, what you have to do within a game, how you win your contest, how you set up the field. I think for us, it's not about... We're not motivating our players about finishing 8th, 9th, 7th, 1st, 2nd. It's about how you want to compete in a game.
You wouldn't have to motivate it much for a game against Hawthorn.
No, I don't think it's about... It's funny when you're on the outside and you look at rivalries, and they're really important. For us at the moment, it's about improving and as I said, competing in each contest and setting up the ground properly and playing the type of football we want to play. The players motivate themselves to perform the best they can for the Essendon Football Club.
Is that to say the players don't have a strong sense of that rivalry, though?
Sorry.
Well, the players still, there's obviously a rivalry going back years. The players would sense that and build themselves up.
The players would sense that there's a rivalry between Essendon and Hawthorn, but I don't think that defines how you play the game. You define how you play the game about how you want to compete, to win the ball, use the ball. and our players, you have to ask them, but I think they're motivated by wanting to be successful and wanting to be consistent week in, week out.
Which of your younger brigade will push for selection that have been on the cusp this week, James?
There's quite a few. Alex Brown will look to come back in, be up there. Trav Collier will look to come back in. Kyle Reamer's a chance. Alan Davey. We're Tuesday. We've got a few days. There were a couple of training sessions before that, but there's a number of players who will look to come back into the team. We've got an injury with Carl Hooker, and Kyle Hardingham's received a week suspension, so we're just debating whether we'll take that week, but it looks like we probably will. So we do need to at least bring 2 players in.
And Hurley, how's he looking?
Yeah, Hurls is fine. Yeah, Hurls had a little bit of a thumb complaint, then he got a tight calf, but yeah, he's 100% fine. So he played very well on the weekend. It'd be good to get some consistency into his game time, because when he's consistent and playing for us, we're a much better team.
So there's no chance he'll miss at all?
Unless he walks out there and trips over something. At the moment, no. But in this game, you never say never, I suppose.
How much are these little lapses in concentration costing the team the last 4 weeks? There's a quarter, probably the Richmond game, Melbourne game, 3rd quarters, first quarter against Freo, first quarter against North as well. You'd say the first 3 goals. I mean, what are you sort of doing to address that problem?
Well, I think it's consistency of performance, and when you're committed to a game plan, you're committed to what you want to do week in, week out, and in every contest, you get that consistency, and you start well and you play well throughout the game. So the consistency of what we're doing week to week, but also within a game, I think has to be looked at, and that comes with a young team. It also comes with a team that's playing a style of football they're not used to, or is newish to them. It should be becoming more and more like every day for them, because they've been doing it for a while now, but we still see lapses, and that's where we have to improve.
Is Mark Williams' form's getting better in the VFL? Is he
Yeah,
getting closer?
yeah, very much so. He's played well against 2 weeks ago. Played very well on Sunday out here against Box Hill. So he's another guy that's a chance for selection, and we'll look at Mark, and whether it's this week or next week, to come back into the team.
The sling tackles have been in focus again this week, James. So what are your instructions to your players in relation to tackle? I think Kevin Sheedy used to say tackle to hurt, but obviously the message might be a bit different these days.
I think you've got to tackle to... The reason to tackle is to get the ball back. Now, how do you get the ball back? That's how we tackle. We tackle to get the ball back and get it going our way again. So I think that players in the moment can sling, and unfortunately, I don't think anyone who's tackling is deliberately trying to really hurt someone. But we want to tackle to get the ball back. That's our message to our players.
It seems with head over the footy to change players' behaviours. The players don't bump too much anymore. But do you think with this tackling, it's not going to change players' behaviours? Like you look at the Justin Kaczynski one, players aren't going to change their tackling technique because a couple of players get rubbed out.
I think they will, because if you keep getting rubbed out for doing the same thing, then you've got to be careful. So I think you'll see less and less sling in a tackle if players keep getting rubbed out, because that would be common sense. If you get rubbed out every week, you're going to change your behaviour.
But isn't it just instinct, like Justin Kaczynski did? It wasn't really sling.
Yeah, it is instinct, but maybe you've got to change. I mean, what used to be instinct to run into the pack and just dive in or jump on someone when their head was over the ball, and it took a while for guys to change that. So maybe you're taking a little bit of instinctive nature out of the game.
So you sort of think eventually with this one, the AFL will get what they're looking for and a change of behaviour in the play?
They normally do, Julian, get what they want. So.
With the fans, they obviously loved you at the start, 4 losses. How do you think they're reacting to you now?
I know you should ask them. I'm not sure.
You hear them. They're pretty boisterous.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, what I hope our fans realise is that we're all working very hard to make this club as good as we can make it, and it doesn't happen overnight. And we won some games early, but we're very committed to the process we're going down and committed to the way we're doing things. And we're going to have some highs and some lows, and we're going through 4 losses at the moment, which is a bit of a low. But things don't change straight away. I don't think if many clubs finish 14th and then win the premiership the next year. And,
do you fear they'll turn on you though, because they can be very...
No, if they turn, they turn. If they do, they do. I don't fear. What I fear is that our players don't keep improving. Whether the fans like it, whether the media like it, whether other people don't like it, is not a concern. What we want is for our players to get better and better and better, so that when we do have an opportunity, whether it's next year, the year after, whenever it is, we're good enough to take that opportunity.
James, I guess people said at the start of the year that you guys might sort of tire a bit at this sort of stage of the year, and maybe that defensive pressure that works so well for you early might drop off. Has that happened at all?
Our defensive pressure hasn't been as good. I'm not sure whether it's being tired or just not being able to do it for as long, and not capitalising on the defensive pressure when you've got it to actually put some pressure back on the opposition. We'll have a look at whether. I don't think that's right.